All right, well, welcome everyone to San Francisco Green Jobs Pavilion 2026. It's our inaugural summit that we are hosting here in Bay Area. We're so excited to be bringing this here. We're Green Jobs Board. If you're not familiar with us, we are a company that's focused on bridging the gap to bring more folks into climate work. So my story is that I am the co-CEO and co-founder. Oh no! Sorry. I'm the, That's what? Is it better? Okay. Let's try this one. Okay, great. Okay. I'm Kristy Drutman. I'm the co-CEO and co-founder of Green Jobs Board. We're a company focused on bridging the gap to bring more folks into climate work. This journey began because I was frustrated by the lack of visibility of climate jobs that I was seeing on the internet. I went to UC Berkeley here in the Bay Area. I am a Cal alumni. Go Bears, to any Bears out there? Okay, great. I love seeing the UC Berkeley students out here. And yeah, I was a class of 2017 and I studied environmental policy and urban planning. I was in CED and CNR for anyone who was at Berkeley. And during that time, I really struggled to figure out how I was going to build a career in climate. I remember, joining so many clubs and internships, and I graduated with honors and all of these things, but I still just didn't know how I could find my place in the climate movement. And so by the end of college, that's when I built my media platform, Brown Girl Green, which is my blog and video series that's focused on climate solutions online. And I basically built that because I told my career counselors at Berkeley, hey, I want to become a climate storyteller, and they kind of looked at me like I had three heads. And I was like, well, no, I believe that this is a career. I believe I can pursue it. But it wasn't an easy task. I really had to go out there and talk to the right people, find mentors, build bridges, really kind of dig into kind of untreaded waters, and was able to build a successful media business. But at the end of the day, that was not easy. And for me, looking back on my journey of building that, I was like, if I'm someone with all the access and the privilege in the world to work in environmental issues, but even I'm struggling to find a job, how can I expect someone who doesn't even have access to a percentage of those types of privileges? And so Brown Girl Green took off after many years, and I was like, what else is missing? And so I started a series on social media called Green Jobs Board, which started literally as a social media post and series where I was curating all the best resources and people and organizations I knew who were hiring in climate, and I made it a weekly series. That weekly series went viral. Thousands of people started sharing it, and organizations and companies were like, hey Kristy, you're actually reaching the talent that we've been struggling to try to market to recruit for our jobs in our workforce. And I remember after several weeks of us starting to post those roles, I'll never forget a few job seekers in our community talking to me and saying, hey Kristy, I got my first job because of your Instagram. And I remember that blowing my mind that I was this conduit and this bridge builder to start translating this information of what climate workforce could look like and how people could get involved with it. And then I joined forces with Usman over here, who will be talking more, and we decided to build Green Jobs Board as an actual company. And flash forward 3 years later, after now it's been 5 years actually, since that first Instagram post, we now reach over 200,000 green job seekers around the world, obviously primarily in the US, but even globally. We have over 1,000 employers that actually, hire and recruit through us. And we host these Green Jobs Pavilion Summits, which started in New York City the first year we decided to become a company. We were like, let's be a company and host this summit in the first year. Why not? We're all young people of color just passionate about wanting to build spaces for our community, and that's how it started. So this room today started in New York City. It went viral also. People love the concept of, bringing those digital spaces in person, in real life. And we realized that we wanted to bring my 10 plus years of expertise and experience of connecting the dots for people into an actual experience. So what you're seeing today is our pilot of doing this in San Francisco in the Bay Area. So thank you for being a part of the history of Green Jobs Board and our journey as we continue to expand and build our journey in other cities across the nation. Because we couldn't do this without any of you. And I just want to say that this is truly a milestone for us to be in this room and to have a pretty much sold out crowd for the entire day. I would just say, I wish something like this existed when I was an undergrad in your shoes just a couple of years ago. And I hope that you get to experience the magic of finding a new connection, getting another resource, and maybe finding the next step on your path. So I'm so grateful all of you are here, and I'll pass it to Usman.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with my co-founder as well as Isaias, who's co-hosting the pavilion with us. So a couple big things today. As you can see, we have a lot of various job seekers, but also a lot of different employers here today. So please network, please talk, and kind of discover where you fit in your climate journey. On that side over there, we have our lovely friends, Center for Culture Power, hosting a huge art gallery over there. And in the back, in the back, we have our exhibit. All of our employers and sponsors are over there. We also are showcasing the next generation of Green Jobs Board. So like Kristy said, we launched our first pavilion in New York when we launched our company. We're launching our brand new product, hopefully at the end of the month, in SF. So think about this as not just an inaugural Green Jobs Board in SF, but also the next generation of where we're headed in climate.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for both of you being here. Hi, everyone. My name is Isaias Hernandez. I'm an environmentalist and also educator. And my role here at the Green Jobs Board as a senior business development partner is to really create these summits, whether in London Climate Week, New York Climate Week, San Francisco, LA. We really believe that the importance of having these pavilions is to make sure, I'll just speak loud too. Okay, the point of these pavilions is to make sure that people have accessible resources. As young people, we experience a lot of barriers to get into these conferences. A lot of these conferences actually start at $300, $400, $500 minimum. And a lot of our goal is to make this accessible, and without our gracious sponsors, we have been able to make it as accessible as possible for entry-level people transitioning, and just people needing resources. And yeah, a little bit about me as I'm speaking here, and I can just speak loud too. I used to work, I did environmental science at Berkeley, and I also was part of Kristy's team years ago, and we actually are best friends. And then I actually couldn't get a job in sustainability and climate. I then worked in the fashion industry for a few years, and then I repivoted back into corporate sustainability. And yeah, my adventure started from going into sustainability, then becoming a content creator, and now also working alongside the team. So I do want to remind people today at the summit is that every connection is worth an investment, whether that's someone that is interested in employing, whether that's someone in consulting, whether that's a new friendship. And the space here is for all of you to reclaim that. So please make sure to also tag us at Green Jobs Board, post about us, share about us, and also we do have a lot of room in the front. So I see some of you all in the back over here. We do have some empty spaces. So as we transition into our next programming, please sit there and please connect with us and introduce yourself to us too. Thank you so much.
Amazing. And so as was mentioned, we have different stations that are happening today. So obviously this is our area where you can, listen to panels and conversations. We do have excellent career coaches literally right behind there. Jake can raise his hand. There's gonna be some other career coaches in that room today. There's tabling organizations in the back that you can talk to directly that are actively hiring for roles right now. Then we have Center for Cultural Power, who's doing an incredible art exhibit on finding your place in the green career ecosystem. And we're gonna have goodies if you complete your exit survey. As mentioned, we are a small business. This is a grassroots effort. And so all of the information and data that we collect from today's event is going to be critical for us to continue to be able to host events like this. So please give us your honest feedback on what sessions feel the most meaningful, the connections you make, and if you fill out the impact survey, please give it at the end. There's like a gifting table, and you'll get a little goodie treat to leave with to exit from the day. So with that being said, I think otherwise, make sure that you're connecting with folks, meet someone new, and we're gonna get started with the first session. Thanks, you guys.